right, guys, welcome back. Spy Hunter left just a little bit ago. And I sanded down the primer on the Space Encounters cabinet. I found a couple little nicks I'm just touching up. Probably getting a little bit too critical, I guess. Probably should leave a few nicks here and there. I mean, we're not going for 100% restoration. We are preserving what's here. We're not putting new artwork on it or anything crazy like that. So what I'm going to do here shortly, after I got a couple little spots on that side of sand once they dry in a couple minutes. So what my goal is I want to tape off for the yellow, and then we're going to spray paint the yellow. Okay, so if you look here, we have a line that comes like this. We have another line that comes like this. Okay, and according to the original rotted piece of wood, it looks like maybe about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom was originally black. So we'll have to make that black again. So basically I need to take tape and recreate this angle. So I have enough of this angle here with a piece of tape to kind of go like this and be able to just keep it coming down straight. You know what I mean, at that angle. And then it's going to stop there. As you can see, I'm drawing on the dust. And then it'll come here. That'll be black. This line will be black. You know, it'll come down to there. And then this just going to continue on to the back there. And it looks like it stops about an 1/8 inch or so. About 3/16. And we'll just draw a tape line down here. And then this will get sprayed yellow after I tape off all of this stuff. So basically we're going to tape all that off, spray the yellow, let it dry for a while. Then we're going to take tape, and we're going to tape the yellow off by taping along this white line here. Actually, no, we'll do it differently. Yeah, we'll tape here, all the yellow off after it's dry, and then we will tape off and do the orange second. And then after the orange is done, we'll tape over the orange, and then we'll paint the white. After the white's touched up, then I'm going to take a black paint marker and we're going to touch up the lines that I destroy while touching up the white paint, which is probably going to be all of them. But I'm hoping to just mist the white paint on and kind of blend it in, and it's going to get over top of these lines, but we'll recreate them. As long as I can see the line through the white paint, we can recreate that identically. There's a couple spots that I had to get a little extra sanding with, which will be a little bit more difficult, but there are some pretty bad gouges here and here, so we're going to have to recreate these lines in here. But I could see the spacing, so I got a pretty good idea. And if you look closely enough, the spacing is not exact from one to another. You can see this one's thinner, that one's fatter, that one's thinner, that one's definitely fatter. You know, then down here, this one's fatter than that one and that one. So it's not like an exact, it doesn't have to be exact. But so as soon as I sand down these 2-3 spots right here, I am pretty much ready to blow this off one more time, and we're gonna start taping it off for the first yellow color. I don't think I'm gonna get this done today. It's already 1:30. They came and picked up Spy Hunter. Hell, they were here for almost 2 hours. We were bullshitting. It's kind of nice to bullshit with people, like-minded people, I should say. You know, other people that are into your hobby. You can really get lost in time and really kind of talk for a while about things, you know. And I had messaged him last night. He does quite a bit in pinball, and I'm just getting into pinball. You know, compared to him, he's a lot younger than me, don't get me wrong, but he's done a lot more pinball than me. You know, he doesn't restore them perfectly, but he gets them working and, you know, cleans them up and makes them really nice again. But anyways, I messaged him last night. I was like, hey, you wouldn't happen to have a flipper coil for this? And I gave him the number off of this one, and he did, and he brought me one. He thinks it's probably the flipper coil, so we'll see. I'll have to put that in and see what happens. If it doesn't do it, maybe the shaft inside's messed up, or some people are saying it could be something else. I just know that flipper coil is tied into the lower right flipper coil, because the lower and upper flipper coil both go at the same time, obviously. So if the bottom one's working perfectly, I would think it would be something in the upper flipper coil area, or you know what I mean. So I don't know. Once again, learning. I'm just kind of making an observation from what I'm looking at here, and he just gave this to me, which was awesome. So it's not going to cost me anything to put this in there and see if it solves the problem. If it doesn't, then clearly it's something else. I don't think it shouldn't be a board issue because you would think the other one would act up as well. I don't know if there's a diode or something that could be screwed up. I don't know. I'll look at it later. I don't really have time to mess with it right now. I got to get going on this cabinet. I want to at least try to get a couple of the colors on this, then we'll see what happens. It's already 1:30 in the afternoon, so we'll see how it goes. And I'm going to be working on my cat house up in the dog pen. I'm not going to record that because I need to get it done, but I am going to do a video on it when it's done so you guys can see what it looks like. I did a video on me framing it up and stuff, but I just don't really have a ton of time right now to fully video a bunch of it, so I'm just going to get it knocked out and then we'll do like a video of the final product of it. I think you guys will like it. I think it's going to turn out pretty damn cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get these couple spots sanded down, and then we're going to get this taped off. Once I get this taped off and the yellow sprayed, I'm going to eat lunch while this is setting. Now the Krylon says dries to touch in 20 minutes, handle in 1 hour. Additional coats before 6 hours or after 24 hours. So I want to be taping the yellow off an hour or so after I'm done painting it, because I'm going to try not to get too much overspray outside the yellow areas. Okay, so I'll probably put some paper or something. Of course, it's really windy today. I don't think I want to pull it inside though. But the wind could work in my favor because it will make it a little bit harder to put it on too heavy. I want to do light dusting coats until everything is coated. Okay, I am looking for coverage, not buildup of paint. I want the paint to be as thin as possible, but cover. Does that make sense? And that's how they paint cars from the factory, new cars. They don't paint to build, they paint to cover. You know, if they can paint a silver car with 2 coats of silver paint before the clear, that's all they're going to do. If they have to put 4 coats on, they put 4 coats on. But they just put enough on until that color has overtaken the color underneath. And that's what we're going for here. We just want to barely overtake the original yellow color. If a tiny bit of the yellow color shows through, that might not be bad either, because it will kind of give it a little bit more of an original look. And we're going to use this blue painter's tape. I probably might have to go get another roll. But I'm using this because this is less aggressive than the automotive tapes that I use. Automotive tapes are a lot stickier, and it could really cause a problem with this Krylon, because if the Krylon doesn't adhere really well, because we're going over old stuff, I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know if, like, if I were to use my automotive tape, and let's say, you know, old plywood cabinets like this, what happens is the paint will start flaking. And I noticed it on the back side, the paint's flaking. Sides are not flaking, but that doesn't mean if I stuck a piece of automotive tape on the side of here and peel it off, would some of the black come with it? It could. And that could still happen when I untape the yellow, because the yellow could adhere to the old yellow, but that doesn't mean when I pull the tape that the tape's not going to take the original yellow off the cabinet. You know what I'm saying? So let me get this sanded, and then I'm going to put you guys in high speed, and I'm going to sit here and get this taped off. I'll probably just show one side taping, and then I'll do the other side and then do the front off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll spray it on camera, and then I'll walk away from it, eat lunch, do what I got to do, start working on the cat house for a little while, come back, we'll tape the yellow off, we'll get onto the orange, and that's how I'm going to work it for today. I'm just going to kind of take my time, let it go, let it sit for an hour, hour and a half between coats, and see what we can come up with, see how nice we can make this thing look. If I'm done with all the coats and I'm still not happy with it, we'll touch it up, no big deal. Last thing I want to do is the black, because once I get to the black, all the other colors at that point will be covered up. Okay, I'm going to start on this side. I am going to use some automotive tapes as well, like these fine line tapes to make different sizes for my lines between. These are not as sticky. This is stickier. Now, I might put this on. This is going to go along the bottom of the cabinet to get my 3/4 inch reveal, and I'm not too worried about it down there, and here's why I'm not worried about it down there. That is a new piece of plywood down there and brand new primer. This is not going to affect any of that down there. So let me get set up here. I'm going to get something to sit on so I don't have to sit on the wet floor or the wet gravel from the rain. And we're going to see what we can do. I feel pretty confident that it's going to turn out pretty good. But that could easily change quickly. Okay, let's just spray this side and see what it does. Light coat, guys. Light coats. Yellow is the worst color to paint, which you've heard me bitch about it before. I'm gonna let that set. I'll come back in about 10 minutes. We're gonna put another light coat on. I'm gonna go start taping off the other side while I'm waiting for this to dry. Okay, let's put a coat on this side, and then we'll go back to the other side and put a coat on. I still gotta tape the front off. Now, when you're painting yellow, spray can is going to be your best bet. Brushes and rollers do not work as well. You notice how that looks green right now? That'll go away. Yellow always looks green over gray until it starts covering thicker. Okay, let that dry for a little bit. I'm going to start taping the front off. Okay, yellow's been drying for about an hour now. I actually had to go to Lowe's and get a second can of yellow. For that little bit of yellow, I had to go through 2 cans because yellow, once again, just sucks. So we're going to untape this yellow, and I want to do the orange next because that's going to give the yellow a little bit more time to dry, because I literally had to put on like 10 light coats, and I'm just a little nervous that it's not fully cured yet. Yeah, it feels a little sticky to me. Even with the blue tape, I lost a few little pieces of artwork. Not bad, but a little bit. those will eventually be black lines. Right now the gray primer is showing through. We have to reverse tape it and put our tape on the yellow and leave the areas that are going to turn black, or untaped. Just doing the yellow makes a huge difference, even though the other colors are messed up. All right, I'm gonna untape the orange and see what it looks like. Okay, so far it's going extremely well. I got two little spots that let go on the yellow right there. I'll touch that up. I got one on this side, right here. And I knew that was gonna happen. That's because it's just the nature of these old cabinets. But once we get it completely touched up, clear coated, everything's gonna be sealed in. But look at the difference already. Look at how three-dimensional that's starting to look now, because the colors are actually solid again and not all scuffed up and screwed up. Now, I came to the conclusion, the white, I'm gonna hand paint that. I'm not gonna spray the white because the more I thought about it, that's gonna be an absolute nightmare to try to tape all that off. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna work on getting the white to look white again with craft paint and a paintbrush. And then I think I'm gonna let it go for the night. And then I'm gonna wait probably until Tuesday and we'll tape off all the spray painted areas. Then we'll do the black. And then after the black, we'll untape everything. And I'm sure there's gonna be some spots that are gonna wanna peel, but we'll fix those up. And then at that point, we can clear it. Now, we're gonna lose a lot of these speckles, okay? When it comes time for the black. And I'm okay with that. These are extremely easy to make. We can just use a white paint marker. We got an occasional star. I can totally recreate that. I mean, that's something you did when you were a kid. We got one little planet here, which we can totally recreate that. So that type of stuff, not worried about whatsoever. I know I can recreate that. So if we lose a lot of the dots, we lose a lot of the dots. Not a big deal. I have it on video and I'll know where they go. I don't want to lose this. I want to try to save the 79 Midway manufacturing, so I'll probably take some tape over that. And then when I spray my black paint, I'll spray it away from the tape line so that it doesn't build up on that edge and you see that. So far I'm very happy with it. It's coming along really well. I think I'm gonna scoot it in the shop because it seems like it's gonna rain, and I don't know if it's going to or not, but I'd rather not get the cabinet wet since it's been wet for the past probably 10 years of its life. So, all right, I'll be back in a little bit and I'll just do a little bit of paintbrush work. We'll go from there. Okay, I got my white craft paint. I'm gonna have to get more. We painted a bunch of golf balls for the golf course down in Geneva on the lake. And I didn't realize that we barely had any white left, but I'm gonna use what I have here and put the first coat on. I'm gonna film it for a few minutes. I'm not gonna sit here and film the whole thing. I do have a white paint marker out here, and I brought a black one out here so that I can recreate the lines that are missing. And we're going to go from there. So let's just do this for a little bit and see how horribly bad the white paint doesn't cover. Okay, it might look like hell right now, but I just went ahead and put a coat of white paint over all of it. Then I'm gonna come back and redraw the lines in because you can see through it. And then I'll put a second coat of white paint staying away from the black lines because it was so dirty right up against the lines that no matter what I would have done, it wouldn't have looked right. So at least now, once this dries in a little bit, I can get the marker out and start recreating the black lines, and hopefully it'll look a lot better than it does right now, because right now it looks really bad. So I'll be back in a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna spend a little bit more time tonight drawing in some of the lines back in, and then probably all I'm gonna do for tonight, and then tomorrow I'll continue on with the white and do the other side and the front and all that good stuff. Now, believe it or not, I don't have a 12-inch ruler. I don't know why, but I do not have a 12-inch ruler. So I'm gonna use a piece of cardboard because that's all I have for a straight edge right now. I'm kind of surprised I don't have a ruler, but I guess people don't really use them much anymore. Well, I'm not going to be able to do it tonight because I thought I can get it with this one, but this is a medium tip size and I need a fine tip. It just went, so much came out that it went right underneath the cardboard. So tomorrow I'll pick up a fine tip black marker and a ruler. And that'll make my life a lot easier because also the cardboard's going to curl and it's just not going to be very easy for me to do. So I'm not even gonna waste my time because I know I need a finer tipped marker. I do have a white marker here I can probably use to coat this back in for now. Well, you know, it doesn't always work out, guys. This is just proof right here. Doesn't always work out. That's okay. I know what I need, and we'll get it taken care of. It's late. It's like 9:30 already. My whole day is already gone. But anyways, I mean, it looks like shit right now, but it'll change, and then I'll touch up that yellow and stuff. It's going to be a couple day process. I was hoping to get a little bit farther than I did. I knew I wouldn't finish it today. I mean, that's pretty much given. And I think what I'm going to do with like these, I think I'm going to touch these up after I do the black because I'm painting those by hand. So I think that'll be the best bet. But yeah, I'll get it. We'll get it. It is what it is. It's just such, the lines are a little bit finer than I thought. There's a few thick ones here and there, and I can use that medium-sized marker for, but we definitely need a fine line marker, so I'll get that stuff tomorrow. So that's going to end this part. I think it's part 4. We're slowly having it come back to life. I'm just really anxious to see what that other side looks like once the lines are drawn back in, but you know, you got to wait sometimes. And I'm not going to Walmart at 9:30 on a Sunday night because I'm tired and I don't care. So thanks guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think so far. It definitely is a big improvement from having gray primer at the bottom, and the yellow actually worked out really well. I went through a can and a half, almost 2 cans of spray paint to get it to that yellow, but sometimes that's what it takes. So thanks guys, and I'll see you guys. We'll probably work on it again tomorrow night for a little bit. So the next couple videos might be a little bit more boring, but you're going to see this thing come back to life. And I think it's going to look really nice once it comes back to life. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Please hit the thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. And if you didn't see the short video, laser ball is 100% working now. Flipper is working. I changed the coil, and I also had a bad leaf switch too. So the coil definitely has a lot more power now too. So I'm very happy with that. So this is ready to go in the basement now. I just wanted to make sure I fixed that. And then I'll do my little bit of touch-ups down there. I bought another can of high gloss Krylon clear. So we'll just touch up the red with the paint marker and a couple spots here and there. Now I'll cover up some things, and we'll just kind of mist some clear, and then we'll wax the whole playfield. I'll probably take some wax and grease remover first and go over this because I'm sure there's wax on it, and get the wax off of it so that the clear coat actually sticks. Because if you spray clear on wax, it's either egg and a fisheye or just peel right off. So, all right, guys, have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow.